on swap and spit in the middle of an intersection in a marked patrol car in full uniform.
Yeah.
Like,
good luck in the fire academy.
we thought we were ground zero for a zombie. A little more going on there. She goes, no, don't stop.
I mean, I listened to it, and that's the first time I've thought about going back to being a cop in a long time.
Only a handful of times I've met some people that I was like, you know what? Even with all of the empathy that I have in my heart, I truly don't believe this individual will be rehabilitated. What's going on, Internet? And welcome to another episode of Officers React. You are here with Only Cops, and we are watching the fabled and the highly requested Southland. This is
Finally
Season 1, Episode 1, full context, a breakdown of this episode. We're going to go in.
We've done clips, but we're doing the episode.
We're going to do the whole thing. I'm nervous.
Hopeful.
Only because, like, the old cop in me, like, wants to really like this show because of the reputation it has.
I think we will.
But we'll see.
If I'm remembering it correctly.
We'll see. I've never actually watched the sat down and watched the show.
Let's do it.
We'll see.
Look sharp, act sharp, be sharp. These guys coming out of prison, they're buff and on drugs. If you do what they teach you in the academy, you will die. Knucklehead wants to take your gun. So if it's you or some 300-pound naked guy in PCP, you take his ass down any way you can. You ride with me, you back your badge.
You're wearing vests.
Shout out to Vest. I'll send it for not having patches on the arm, but I think we've discussed this in other episodes. There's probably some legal reason for it.
But they are wearing vests.
Shout out to Vests. I think also it's kind of interesting to see some of the older, like, leather gear.
Because this is like...
Because it's meant to be like 90s policing, right?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s?
Yeah.
Keith's like, his sweeping legs getting tickly.
Yeah. I think this is like first 5 to 10 years of 2000.
Yeah, most of the...
Probably not even that late, honestly. This might be like 2001.
Yeah, most of the senior supervisors and, like, very senior officers on my shift came from this generation.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how much of that bled over into a lot of it was very, like, there's the academy and they teach you all of the academic stuff. That we had a very good academy, but there was a subculture that you entered once you got onto patrol. And I was very lucky to have an incredibly senior shift when I first got cut loose. Like, I think the most junior guy was like 5 years, and they all made fun of him for being a rookie.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm 2 months, you know what I mean, or whatever it is. And so you're kind of like the very adorable child that they now get to bring onto patrol. And I'd be interested.
He's not
to
necessarily
see.
wrong though. Like,
yeah,
academy was very different from real police work.
Yeah, but I think that the idea of if you do anything they teach you in academy, you'll die. Is well, I think the things that you can get away with in academy, you will not get away with on the street.
Oh, true.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
But I do think that
if you're talking about violent felons.
Yeah. I think, too, a good reason for that speech is probably to let them know, like, you do not know anything yet.
Right.
Treat it that way.
Yeah.
Be fearful, be untrusting, and don't, trust me, not yourself. Yeah. I think that's what they're trying to instill, because I think that's the healthiest way to approach field training as a new police officer. Because really, like, the guy you're approaching does this for a living. You are new to it.
Yeah.
Like, you're no more prepared for patrol work than...
He could be a criminal longer than you've been alive.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'd be curious. I actually don't mind the speech.
How was Cancun?
Oh, it's good. If I ever talk about marriage again, tell me to go out, find some chick I don't like, and buy her a house instead.
No, Sammy's wife just kicked him out.
That first marriage? Don't even count to start a marriage.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah. For a lot of cops, yeah.
I think a lot of people that choose to get into policing and love doing it and are not well adjusted enough for it, that's them.
Yeah.
Or that, like, refuse to quit early. Yeah, that's them. It's like artists.
It's also different back then.
It's like artists that don't realize they're not talented. You know?
But also you're talking about gang
porn
detectives.
Homes. Oh, yeah.
They're probably working
all the time.
Crazy hour, like, especially back then.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah.
You're kind of working whenever you need to.
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Hey,
Seems like a
cuz,
nice group of people.
where you from?
Yeah.
I don't bang.
Is gang violence that random and uncalled for?
Yes.
100% yes. That has not changed in 100 years plus.
Probably.
It's been that way. Will forever be that way, probably, unfortunately.
Depends on your definition of a gang. But
I think
probably been that way for a long time.
I think what's sad to people that have either suffered from it or have witnessed it, or again in law enforcement perspective, work around it, is watching people try to romanticize that. Yeah. And then like, well, you don't have to tell this little girl that her brother's dead or this guy's mom that her son's dead.
And for what?
Yeah. Crossing the street.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. If the amount of buildings burned for how many of these shootings happened, like, dog.
Well, Chicago would
not exist.
Constantly.
Yeah, it would not exist. That'd be a pilot light for the U.S.
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
You gotta be kidding me. Light him up.
You call that out or no? Did y'all not call out traffic stops?
No.
Keith, did you guys call out traffic stops?
Yeah.
Like right as you're pulling it over?
Yeah, I'm like calling plates before I
Even turn on the lights, right? Okay.
Not LAPD.
I guess none of us have LAPD experience.
They don't
right?
do that.
Yeah, typically, and the reason being is you need them to know that you're where you're at in case this goes sideways. But also, you want to return on the license plate, and especially back then when they probably didn't. When did y'all get MDCs?
They have MDCs.
They do.
Yeah.
So yeah, the you can't run it yourself without an MDC.
Keith doesn't know what an MDC is. He just has his clipboard.
Yeah, his clipboard. He's some printouts.
I got a computer way late in the game.
Yeah.
His rookies had to show him how to use it.
Yeah.
Log me in, rookie.
He's like, hey, make the flashy box. Give me information. I'm gonna hit them keys. Tell me something interesting.
Yeah, fuck, you pedophile? I don't want no pedophile.
I've seen that TV show.
So, but yeah, you want to get a return on the vehicle just to get information on it to make sure that the registration is good and valid, and then also to look for misdemeanors like not having insurance or things of that nature. Every state's a little different on what it's going to be on the return. But.
You became an actor?
Not an actor.
I'm being punked, right?
Search the car.
Hey, you're making a big mistake. You can't search my car without just cause.
You're watching way too much TV, dude. Put your hands on the car, palms down. Spread your legs.
Wait, you're arresting me? What are the charges?
No charge. Services of the LAPD. See, they're free for you.
You're a dick.
They're free for you.
Cops have feelings too, you know? Now I'm gonna need a hug. Hook them up.
Gloves. They didn't have them back then. Gloves.
Hey, Ben, right? Can you help me out here, dude? No. Fine. I'll hire your dad. Come bail me out. He know you're doing this? He must be...
You know what they don't have? Body cameras.
No. They would have dash cams though, and typically they had dash cams and then microphones that would be on
Remember
like,
the
your
little
belt.
when we started?
Yeah.
The little mic on the
Oh.
belt.
To hear you screaming as opposed to see it. It wasn't articulated, but I'm assuming the second, especially in like a
Like smelled marijuana.
every once in a while when they would use the jars and they bought it in the jar, you might not smell it, but in a like plastic bag like that,
Unless
you're 100%.
it was vacuum sealed.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
And even then.
You're smelling a bag that's just been opened and shut even a couple of times. You're smelling marijuana. He probably had the smell of marijuana in a car like that.
He just
probably
didn't say it.
He just didn't articulate. But that technically there was nothing unlawful about the stop.
Nope.
It was crazy fast. That I will say.
It was an illegal U-turn.
Yeah.
Walked up, smelled weed. There you go.
I seen her just last night coming home with her dad, and she had on this heavy book bag on her shoulders and it was weighing her down, so she was walking real slow. I mean, they're real heavy nowadays. You ever notice that?
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that this is a little kid. I mean, why do they have to lug all that heavy crap around? You know, why can't her dad just carry it? I mean, she was little for her age. I mean,
Check his hard drive.
You guys are all being so helpful. You think I can get your names down here just in case I need to contact you?
Oftentimes, and this is taught, I had some old heads, Keith, I'm sorry, that's referring to your generation, but that told me a long time ago that oftentimes at the offense location, suspects will return.
Yep. Like they want to tell on themselves.
It's like a
It's
weird
thing.
I don't know what the psychological reasons are for it, but that if they rob a place, they want to go stare at it.
Yeah.
If they go and kidnap somebody, they want to go like see how the story's playing out.
Yeah.
It's why it's kind of ironic because you'll see this when like the villain does something, they'll always turn on the news because they want to see the news story play itself out. Yeah. That's pretty common. I think that's maybe what they were picking up on, that he was giving way too many details and seemed way too interested, or was too interested in trying to seem like they were helping, even though none of the information he gave was helpful. Yeah. That was a very coy way of actually getting his contact information to go look it up. But that's good.
What do you call two female officers in a squad car? A tuna boat. Oh yeah! Hey, Chickie's thinking about going SWAT.
She should go SWAT. She rocks.
Why don't you get an all-female SWAT while you're at it? That way you can just get people together and nag suspects if they come out.
Shut up. You're giving me a headache.
Wait a minute. Was that Night Cop? I think it was.
We saw him in the act.
Sounds just like him.
Sounds just like him.
Degrading women and distasteful?
Where are you from in Canada?
I'm not Canadian.
Whoa!
A little more going on there. She goes, no, don't stop him. Ask anybody that works in like a hospital or anybody that works in like an office building, and it just, I don't know. It's just as bad with cops. Except there's stress. It's just there's trauma bonding happening, which is so much worse.
True.
So I think it was in the 70s, if I remember correctly, when they started having an initiative to try to get women to be police officers. I think the first generation of women that I think were even allowed to do it was in the 70s, at least in America. By this time, I'm assuming most major police departments were probably asking for it. I know that jails started doing it probably way before then, to have jailers, because they had to search female inmates.
Females, yeah.
Things of that nature. But in policing, by the time you got to our generation, which is the late 2000s, 10s basically, there was departments trying to get to 30% or more having female officers on the street. There's definitely some advantages, I think, from an investigatory standpoint. I think also rapport building, mostly because there are biases that suspects are going to have, and some might be straight towards men, whether it's your victim or your suspect, and having a female officer there. And then I think also from a misconduct standpoint, it's harder to accuse, for a female suspect to accuse a female officer of misconduct, or it happens a lot less often. And there's just sometimes that there's only so much of the percentage of the male population that's going to be good at being cops, whether it's for maturity reasons, fitness reasons, or whatever. And so you have another 50% of the population that you could be recruiting from. And of that, there's a certain percentage of women that will be very good at it. You would be stupid to not want to recruit.
I think that's also beneficial to your male population of officers. Because nothing good happens when you just have a bunch of fucking dudes together.
That's true. That keeps you honest. or makes chain of custody pretty complicated.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unit, neighbors have reported a bad smell coming from 322 Wilcox, apartment A.
It's probably a DB call. By the time you pull in the driveway, you should know what you have. The hair in your arms tells you. By the call. Show us handling. So what is this for you?
What's your unit?
What I was about to say, dog. Woo! Rather than the first thing dispatch is, Who is handling?
But at least he used the right microphone.
He did indeed use the right. Shout out to them. That was the most awkward month of patrol when a new academy class came out because radio traffic.
Oh,
was
the radio
just
traffic?
a shit show.
Yeah.
I hate that I contributed to that for probably 1 or 2 months and then figured it out. Yeah. Especially once you're cut loose by yourself, because then I think you're even more nervous and you'll like have to bolo something and it's like, you get more picky, I think, the longer you're a cop in that. Yeah. I'm sure Keith would still have judgment on some things on radio traffic.
Ours was different too, because we were like 98% plain language.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine with 10 codes
easier. Yeah.
He's got dogs. I forgot. Hello? Sir? Call animal control.
1585 request animal control our location.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
how that would go.
I wouldn't want to have to open that door if animal control was there. Even
Plus,
if I know it was a DB.
The smell, you know it's...
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah. I can taste this.
Yep.
Come on, keep it together, rookie.
To be fair, I never had one that bad.
I only had one that was kind of that bad. Most of mine I found them pretty early on.
Yeah.
I was lucky most of mine were also winter ones.
Yeah.
Them winter ones were, man, they could sit there for weeks.
Yep.
They were pretty good. We had a guy we were convinced was dead. We found him and he was alive. It was weird.
Yikes.
Weird, quick, super quick, short story here. We got a welfare check just like this. Smelled like death from the outside. So the apartment manager opens the door and you open it. It like nailed you in the face.
Yeah.
And looked like a duck, quacked like a duck, whatever. And a bunch of cats were in there. It was mostly the ammonia from like the cat, whatever. So I could see this guy's feet. It was like a shotgun apartment. So everything's kind of all in one hallway. So we started approaching the guy to go check on him. And he had like super long like toenails.
Oof.
It looked like he looked like the crypt keeper, dog.
Ugh.
So we get up to him and one of our favorite supervisors almost shot the guy because he sat up. He scared the hell out of all of us.
Oh my gosh.
He sits up and he's like, "What?" And we all like there was 3 clicks of everyone's gun going right back in their holster. So we thought we were ground zero for a zombie.
Why didn't he answer the door?
I don't know. We knocked, and you knock a bunch, yell, knock a bunch, yell, and all we could see is cats, and his entire car was full of fast food,
of course,
like wrappers and stuff like that. That was like months old. Ugh. You could see a couple of like the stickers from like Uber Eats that were like post dated for like 9 months ago.
Ugh.
So we're like convinced, and like the car was cold. Like you could tell like the dirt hadn't moved. It had rained a couple times, and oh, dude, yeah, it was. Anyways,
gross.
That was a funny time. We were convinced because it smelled about that bad, but it was just all the cat feces and urine.
You sure you gotta put him down? I'll take him. That little pink nose is kind of a sweetie.
He's tasted human flesh. Once they've tasted human flesh, you just can't be sure.
Yeah, well, I went south with my wife about a year ago. You gotta put me down now? What the hell's wrong with your partner? He looks kind of sick down there.
Yeah, Tori's spelling threw up all over his brand new patent leather Mary Janes. You guys be nice when you say goodbye today. Could be his last day on the job.
No. Don't let him get to you. It's not personal, you know.
What is his problem?
That's a good senior officer.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not my responsibility. Like, look, bro, like, we all go through this. Just chill.
Yeah,
Stop taking it a damn
Calm
personal.
down. You're not special. You're definitely going to need thicker skin out here.
I think what's interesting, and I bet you in the military it's probably the same experience, you feel like you're having the worst experience ever. Everybody was like, literally every single cop worth their salt that's half decent on patrol has gone through the exact same scenario you have.
Especially if you were like the guy in academy.
Yeah.
And you get out on the street and you are
just garbage.
Nothing.
Yeah. Like you're an annoyance. You're an obstacle to actual police work. You are a burden. I don't know. We met people that were, Green Berets and stuff that would still really struggle to do the nuanced aspect of, because it's not physically hard to do. I think it's not terribly it's not rocket science, but like it's just taxing. That's really all it is. It's an interesting, and there's just too much to know that you're not taught ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not the hardest job in the world. It's really easy once you figure it out, but like the environment's kind of weird.
It's easy for the right people.
That's what I was getting at. And you won't be bothered by that same Green Beret who's already gone through some of that initiation period prior to becoming a police officer is like, well, this is...
Yeah, I know what this is.
Part of it. Yeah, this is part of it. This guy. This is probably pretty accurate. Y'all only did dynamic entries, right? For room clearing, Keith?
They didn't have robots and shit. I mean...
No, but I'm saying it was only dynamic. They didn't do slow and deliberate. That's a later tactic. If you were going to do a room clearing, you just boot that thing and run in there.
You're also looking for a kid.
Yeah, he said shock and awe. That was the... Y'all did that Fallujah style.
But also, this is patrol serving a search warrant.
Yeah.
So,
shout out to them.
Yeah, no freebies for you, ass.
Shauna, Ben, Shauna.
Hey.
Howdy.
I trained this crazy chick. Shauna works Vice, in case you didn't guess. Where's the gas?
Wow, that's pretty chummy. So you do not go up and say hi to undercovers? Like, ever? Even if you recognized them? Maybe it was different back then? I'm not going to incriminate Keith, but I figure that's not... this wasn't common policy, no? Like, you wouldn't see this?
If we needed to talk to him, we hooked him up.
I was going to say you'd arrest him for something.
If you just wanted a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, you're not swapping spit in the middle of an intersection in a marked patrol car in full uniform. Yeah. Like, that's both dangerous for her, because it marks her as somebody that's kind of chummy with the police, and also like super conduct unbecoming for a police officer.
How much?
No, sweetheart, what'd you have in mind?
I don't know.
The act and the price, you gotta say it out loud, dude.
$50 for a bingo?
Bingo.
Just get out of here, okay?
Let's go.
She's not with you.
What is she doing?
I'm sorry, what's the matter with me? You're on the street selling your body for sex.
Yeah? Well, I'm not going with a baby in a car seat in the back seat, you ass. Just get out of here, okay? I'm a cop, you moron.
Nice hanging with you guys.
Later, bro.
You pull him over on traffic?
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Failure to yield right away.
Hell yeah.
We getting to you, Boot? You don't think you can handle it? Get out now. Do us all a favor. Quit.
I think that's... What would you say, Keith? So I think this is like... I think 50% of your job is to get people to wash out. Obviously, the other half's to train them and to get them prepared for actual police work. But if someone needs to wash out, you know what I mean?
You definitely put the stress on them.
That's what I was getting at.
You have to see how they function. If they break, they break.
If he dies, he dies.
If it's not for them, then
yeah.
Good luck in your endeavors in life. Yeah.
Good luck in the fire academy.
I think it's gonna seem so mean, like externally, but this is a man that's tasked with your safety and your training. That no matter how mean he is or whatever,
but so we know, right? Once you get through it, you usually earn the beginnings of their respect.
100%.
Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna have their full respect till they see you out.
No.
Working on your own, but
unknown troubles can be funky.
15A85, show us responding, code 2 to Fletcher and 136th Street.
Look at that. Grab the right mic again.
Yeah, look at you. That's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially in a place where, like, and the term is everyone's banging, right? That doesn't mean banging pans together or procreating. That's gang banging. The streets are that's a hard place, dude. Like actual,
especially South LA.
Like gang.
That's real.
Yeah.
We had gangs, but
that's legit.
Real.
Like they own portions of that city, legitimately.
Yeah.
I had very small baby taste of that. It was a very disconcerting feeling that everyone felt collectively. Like everyone knew, including the government.
Yeah.
Of showing up. Oh, we're not in charge here.
Right.
I can have moments of order and whatever, but like
very small.
Yeah. And under the threat of violence.
Yeah.
Like I had to have a very real, legitimate threat of violence to maintain that temporarily. Yeah. I don't know. That's wild.
Run the car first and call for backup. Unknown trouble calls could be cop ambushes.
There he is, Hector Munoz, a.k.a. Zigzag.
This kid just got out of prison 2 days ago.
Droopy says they've been out doing ABGs.
What?
Anybody goes.
Yeah, this is William 52. I'd like to put out a citywide broadcast. Hector Munoz, age 18, wanted for attempted murder, considered armed and dangerous. Vehicle is a 64 blue Impala, California license plate number 2, Sam, Boy, Ida, 653.
Show us code 6 George with backup at 136th and Fletcher.
Oh, I love that they shut their lights off. Let's go! We're doing some policing now, baby. Open door, why not? Sure.
I was waiting for your comments on their light discipline.
Flashlights on, boot.
I really liked that it was intermittent.
Yeah.
And it's
It was
on,
when they needed
look,
it.
off.
Yeah.
On, look, off. Very, very, very good. Also, they weren't yelling or
Right.
doing weird, loud hand signals. For a loud noise complaint, kind of weird that they went in this heavy, but I guess because of the area.
I was going to say, I think they were trying to say, like, this is a pretty well-known gang-heavy area. And like he said, a lot of times these calls come in and they're ambushes.
Yeah.
So
Stand up, put your hands in the air. Good! I will shoot you through your head. Put your hands in the air now. Yeah! Relax, fool. Hey, stay down.
Put your hands above your head.
Cuff him, I got the gun.
Shut up!
Take him down to the car now. I haven't finished searching him yet, sir.
Generation Y. When I ask you to do something, you do it. I'm your superior officer.
Get your ass down here. How you doing? I'm doing great. That's good. You look like a dead man to me. It's got temporary use of your arms and legs. Shut the up.
Get him in the car now.
What a G.
Officer down, shots fired. Roll me an RA now.
From that distance?
Yeah. Good scene though, huh?
Dude. So they weren't in time for the bolo because the bolo was found out too late. They were already on scene with it. The senior officer is like, whatever, you're taking too damn long.
Yeah.
And you don't do the procedure of, again, cuff, then search. Don't skip steps, boys and girls. But that it illustrated why, and that even senior officers can become either complicit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or complacent is really not what it is.
Complacent, yeah.
But, bro, my boy went out there and put in work.
Realistic, I think.
Oh,
dude.
No kidding, dude. Say hello to your 18-hour shift now. Come on, boo.
Sit down. Sit down. What are you going to shoot like that? Beverly Hills Gun Club? Why don't you shut the hell up, sir?
Just to get him shit.
All right, Miss Tenway. Superb. Burn Squad just showed up. You heard of Warner Brothers? This is Warner Brother. You don't lie. That's how they get you. Lying is worse than an out-of-policy shooting. You just tell it like it happened, you'll be fine. No big deal.
Taking a life is a big deal to me, okay?
What the hell did you think the gun was for, huh? Show and tell? Look, you'll get over it. All right, they'll send you to BSS, you'll do all that Buddhist I love and revere all sentient beings crap. Then at dark 30, next time you're up, you will drag your weary fried ass out of bed, you will put on your gun and your vest, and you will do it all over again. You know why? Because it's a front row seat to the greatest show on earth. Can you amuse it? Yes, sir. You can and you will. I guarantee it. Because it is relentless. And it gets to you. And it seems like it changes nothing. But a day like today, with some interesting capers and a few good arrests, that's good. But every once in a while, you get to take a bag out of the streets for good. And that, my friend, is God's work. So now you want to be a pussy and quit. You quit. You're a cop because you don't know how not to be one. If you feel that way, you're a cop. If you don't, you're not. You decide.
I have a hard time arguing with that. I want to, like, sit there and, like,
it's
PC that up.
It's changed now, obviously, but the message is still that.
Man, I'm trying to really wrap my... How do I distill this down for the uninitiated?
If you're not 100% in, you shouldn't be in at all.
Agreed.
So, he might have said it a little differently.
He said it with some flavor.
Yeah. But if you're not 100% in, which I think we could both agree.
Yeah.
We were no longer 100%
Yep,
in.
when I left, that's why.
So we're not in.
I think if you listen to that speech and you find it offensive, it's probably not for you.
No.
But if you listen to that speech and you think, I can at least understand why it's that way, and that's probably the reality.
I mean,
yeah.
I listened to it, and that's the first time I've thought about going back to being a cop in a long time. So, but then I remember it's not like this anymore.
Yeah, I know.
This isn't it anymore.
But and I don't know. I externally I do think that's a hard, dark place that a lot of people don't like to think about. But the reality is this is a guy that mercilessly shot an innocent kid. And in the middle of being
2
taken
days
into
after getting out of prison,
and then immediately went and shot a cop.
Yep.
That was, I mean, I guess apprehending them for a loud noise complaint or whatever it was, or trying to do something.
The gun,
whatever.
probably gun charges, whatever.
I don't know, man. I remember during my interview, and I was too nice prior to being a cop. I was much too nice and too trusting. And I remember in my entrance interview, the biggest hang up they had about me was they did not believe that I could utilize lethal force. And I remember in my interview, one of the things they said to me was, do you think, and point blank asked me, do you think you could utilize deadly force? And I remember vividly my response was, well, you don't give him a gun for nothing. And he kind of looked at me as a sergeant. I still remember this guy. And he kind of looked at me, kind of smirked, and he's like, I think he'll make it. It's like the look on his, he wasn't proud of me or whatever, but he sat there and he's like, if you already understand that at least, I think you'll make it. It's not a fun part of the job. I don't think it's a good part of the job. I think there is some aspect, even spiritually, when you really think about it, about you are not vengeance per se. You're a balancing force to violence. That is supposed to be your function.
Yeah.
Peacekeep, and de-escalate. That should always be your primary function. But once you reach a tipping point, the glass continues to spill out of the water until it has a correcting force. Unfortunately, sometimes that requires deadly force. And that's why they issue a firearm. Even if you're a British cop and you don't have a gun, they still give you the leash to say, you're allowed to punch that drunk guy right back in the face if he's running around punching everybody. That's your job.
But like it's like we say with a lot of stuff, like that's the only action that is going to get the point across.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah, it's true.
Because like, you could arrest him. Clearly, he's going to go to prison. He's going to get out. 2 days later,
it'll happen again.
Yeah. So.
And how many people are you willing to gamble that this guy's going to turn a new leaf?
Yeah.
In an ideal world, eventually they'd become rehabilitated. But I have met, only a handful of times I've met some people that I was like, you know what? Even with all of the empathy that I have in my heart, I truly don't believe this individual will be rehabilitated.
And I think the rehabilitation goes out the window when you're part of a gang as a kid, part of a gang as an adult.
Yeah.
You're part of that gang in prison. You're still part of that gang when you get out. Like, your gang means more than...
Yeah. God, especially when you're willing to gun down just cuz. You're like, oh, this kid needs to die.
Because you're not black and he was black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to do one is
I don't think I'm sorry. That caught me completely off guard. That's on somebody's wall somewhere, I'm sure. There's some poor, like, I don't know, like the SWAT qualified deputy that just lives in like super methy gangland, and he probably has like a tally.
Probably.
It's like, wedge that into the revolver.
What do you do? Is Cesare? It's خرجيرة خنصبان لز.
Yikes.
I do think there are instances, I think it's interesting that they portrayed kind of the tale of two cities here, where you have like a clear like offender that chooses to commit violence, did a bunch of violence, died, lived by the sword, died by the sword kind of thing. Then you have what I truly believe is still very predatory behavior, but just a very different type of suspect. You have a suspect that is, I guess, convinced in their mind that they're just kind of happy accidents along the way. Yeah. But you do have, I think, it's like the difference between first degree and second degree murder, right? Like, you're not planning on it, you're not whatever. This is just as it's happening, you become a suspect. Like, he's not any more innocent, but I do think it can be really devastating when you have people that come from loving homes, that have people that care about them, and randomly out of nowhere they're over here. I've been surprised. It's not often, but like I would say, like a fifth of the arrests I did, nobody around them thought that person was a criminal. The rest of it, like, nobody was surprised. Like, well, I mean, that makes sense. But like the shoe fits everywhere else. But every once in a while, like, on both sides of the fence, you're destroying lives, or it's like the most tragic event of that. I guess like Juan decides to go off and capital murder somebody.
Oof.
That'd
be tough.
Again?
Well, first one didn't happen.
Lowercase murder the first time.
Capital murder, so yeah, all caps. No cap.
No cap.
Keep going. Dude. That's a pretty well put together episode.
They're all like this.
For the plot line.
That's why I love this show.
I was better than I thought it'd be. Who did this? Was it HBO or?
No, this was TNT.
TNT?
This was legit on just cable TV.
Don't sleep on classic TNT TV.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That was pretty good. Like, so there's the actual plot lines, right? They found a way to weave these things together throughout the entire episode.
With patrol, gangs, and then
detectives.
Like robbery, homicide, I guess, is what they were.
And then like the actual victim impact that happened among that.
And the community.
Pretty
The
incredible.
lady was like, everybody around here bangs. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
So
pretty and that was realistic, you know? Like, I don't know. The tactics were better than what we see for the most part.
Yep.
I think most of the equipment, they're actually wearing vests,
Mm-hmm.
actually utilizing radios. Every once in a while, the radio traffic was probably the worst part about it.
They left parts out, but
like that doesn't add to the story, so who cares? Because
Right.
unless you've done actual radio traffic,
you're not gonna
who
know.
cares?
Yeah.
And I think the experience from the character's perspective was probably the most realistic. That was good. I am for once am not mad about a suggestion. This is still probably, I understand the reputation this has amongst people that are interested in this type of I guess infotainment. So if you guys like for us to do more Southland, we have a bunch queued up. Hopefully we can get some more recorded for you guys. If you guys would like us to go back to doing the Rookie or SWAT or 911 or whatever, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. We do read every single one of those comments and respond or argue with you either way. If you guys have any other interest in interacting with us, you can join our Patreon group for as little as $1 a month. That gives you direct access to our Discord, as well as being a member here on YouTube. If you don't want to leave the app, that will also give you access for as little as $1 a month. Another really cool way to interact with the brand is to get merch. We do have a lot of cool merch. There should be a link in the description of this video. How you can do that, we have cups, mugs, shirts,
hats,
stickers, bunch of
stickers.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
You guys can go get that stuff. Go thank a cop in your life or a cop that you know. I'm sure they'll find most of that stuff very adorable. Really, if you want to do the easiest and freest way to do that, go ahead and just like and subscribe to this channel. We release content like this all of the time. And anyways, take care of people taking care of you. Until next time, thank you for riding 2 Man with us. Peace.